vibe house. We in the vibe house. We like the vibe out. Let's go. Vibe out. Feeling like God. I got one foot in the sky. I'm on a whole nother vibe. Live. I think that you should subscribe. My neck is umbrella with his sweater. My bitch is Cinderella. Put weather. I'm just applying pressure. Never let up. Come in the vibe house. You get wet up. Yeah, I'm in the vibe house. This is a vibe now. I'm in the vibe house. This is a vibe now. I'm in the vibe house. Yes, it's a vibe.
Point fives with jam jars and leotards, set the mood right from the start. She love it when I rock a lot of ice and smoke guards. I love it when she speak real nice.
Welcome to the Vibe House. Only real ones sit on this couch. Today we got a special guest in the building. My boy Prota from the 4-6 Tuskegee, Alabama, and I always feel good to reunite with my brothers, man.
Yes, it's good to see you, bro.
Man, give them the background, give them the origin, man.
The origin of just bro.
Yeah,
that
man.
Long as fuck, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Give them a little, give them something important, though, you know what I mean?
I mean, shit. The name, well, Prota comes from a long line of just disrespect in general. Started at 16 rapping or whatever. Damn, bro. That's a hard question to just go over. That's a long in-depth question, bro. Shit. Started at Prota 16, you know what I'm saying? I originally started as Protege. Moved on from the Protege once me and one of my homies kind of broke up from my little rap group or whatever. Became Prota, kind of went through a lot of shit to get to who I am or whatever, but hey, now we here for the most part, so yeah.
That's what's up, bro. Like, shout out to staying down in longevity, man.
Nigga, 10 years in, bro. For real.
10 years in?
10 years in, bro.
Out the real, we toasting up to that, bro.
Yes,
congratulations for just staying down with the crowd.
Appreciate that shit.
So, man, tell me about the music, man. How it's been treating you, man?
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you, the music has come a long way, man. When I first started off, I wasn't taking it as serious when I was 16. So it was more so of a hobby when I first started off. And right around 22, shit started getting real with life in general. And I started to see that my music was a way to kind of, I guess, vent my feelings and vent how I was feeling about certain things in general. And at the same time, connect to a lot of people, because a lot of people had felt like I felt in the same token or whatever. So at 22, I started taking shit serious. I dropped my first official tape, which was actually my first official tape. It was actually Color Scheme. So this was back in 2014 or whatever. After Color Scheme, people kept harassing me about the next tape or whatever. Back in college, in 2015, I ended up dropping Human Sobriety, which was my second tape. You can find both of them on Dat Piff Live mixtapes. Shout out to DJ Plugs, my nigga who plugged me in with that shit. And I took it up from there for the most part. So after that, I saw the avenue to kind of what my avenue was as far as my music, and I just pushed towards that avenue in general, which was just some real shit, because everybody can relate to real shit. I dropped fucking SoundCloud Rapper EP, volumes 1 and 2. I moved to California, dropped ISO, and then I fucked around and dropped my latest tape, which was a treetop, not a treetop on oppression, but a turtle on a fence post, which is doing numbers right now. So yeah, it's been treating me good, man. I don't have to work no more. I do straight music, make money off that shit, and it's a vibe, bro, for real.
Blessings, man. Tell me about that experience, man, going from Tuskegee, Alabama to California, man. What was that like, man?
Man, it was a journey, man. I just packed up one day. It was May 2019. I just packed up. I saw Avenue to leave, and I just left, bro. I drove my whip all the way from Alabama to California, parked that bitch, and I just started making moves, man. I met up with a couple guys. Shouts out to my nigga Roger. Shouts out to my nigga Alex. Shouts out to my nigga Fern. Shouts out to my homies Ortega. Shouts out to my homie Breezy. They actually set me up with a lot of different video dudes, a lot of beats, studio time, and they just kind of helped push the craft in general. And I appreciate them dudes for real. So yeah, it was experience moving on. So yeah.
Man, that's what's up, man. Tell me about, I heard you mention a treetop under oppression, man.
Yeah.
Where you get that title from, man? Explain that.
Man, a treetop under oppression, man. I was in a real heavy space in my life for the most part, and in this space, it was a real negative space where I felt like it was nobody I could depend on except for myself for the most part. A lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of guilt, a lot of anger in general. And the treetop under oppression just symbolized, when I thought about it, I had just started growing my dreadlocks out, which I'm hitting on this beanie right now, but I just started growing my dreadlocks out, and it just symbolized a transformation, like we talked about early on, where you know you start from, you got to like you reinvent yourself in general. And when I started growing my dreads out, and I started growing the treetop, which was my dreads and my roots, whatever, it was just symbolizing the oppression that I felt like I was dealing with. And I used that feeling to vent out my frustrations in life and just kind of make moves based off that. So, yeah.
Man, word. And, you know, just mentioning that tape, man. My favorite song on the tape is Scrambled, man. How was you feeling when you went in the booth and you laid that Scrambled down, bro?
Oh, man, I was pissed the fuck off. I'm not going to lie to you, bro.
Word.
I was pissed off. It was a lot of shit going on, a lot of disrespect going on between a lot of guys. I won't get into that shit. But a lot of disrespect and a lot of anxiety, a lot of like anger just led to me just, like I said, venting my frustrations out. And Scramble was me trying to figure out how to get these thoughts all in line, which is in the case of the Scramble portion, because if you listen to the track, I'm everywhere. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about every feeling that I'm dealing with. And it just came out beautifully. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I had just came off of an overdose. So I overdosed on a couple of pills back in 2016. I almost died and shit. And after I came back from that shit, like I guess that shit, when you almost die, man, you kind of go through a sort of rebirth where you kind of appreciate life a little more. And I figured out how to take that part of life in general and make it into something that was beautiful that everybody can kind of relate to. And it just came out and Scramble for the most part. So yeah, Scramble's one of my favorite songs, bro.
Man, and I salute that the utmost, man. I see you, and it's crazy because when I'm thinking about sipping, my guests always pick up their cup. But, man, before we hit the cup, man, you know what I'm saying, I got to shout out to you for being able to pay attention to the positive things, man, and being able to channel those vibes and make something positive happen. And I see what you're doing, man. So let's toast up to staying positive, bro.
I appreciate that shit. That's all it's about, staying positive, you know what I'm saying?
So, man, you know, getting to California.
Yep.
You knew there.
Yep.
You know, I imagine you don't know too many people.
Not a goddamn person.
How did you start networking and making that come together, man?
So I moved there with my old job, which I used to work at Verizon, so I used to work at a cell phone company. And it's crazy, bro. I live my life in coincidences where you, in order to get to your path, or in order to get to your what God's plan is for you, you have to learn how to follow these coincidences that life takes you through. And when I got to Verizon, it was coincidentally this dude named Roger, who Mexican, he had a store, bro. He had a store behind him, kind of similar side store, which made me like kind of lean towards him, where he was just trying to like also tell his story and get his music out there. He always wanted to be a rapper or whatever. So when he saw me, he instantly knew. I guess he said I had an artist look or whatever, that like I rapped it. So he kind of like, I'm an introvert, bro. So he was one of those introverted niggas or extroverted niggas who in general just kind of pulls you in. And he was just like, bro, we're going to do this shit, you know what I'm saying? And because of Roger, he led me to a space where we went to a studio, which is just funny because when I first started, we went to like 5 different studios in LA looking for a good studio. And it ended up being one in San Diego we was already from, where when I went in, we met this dude named, not Will, but shouts out to Will too, but this nigga named Justin Truelove. And Justin Truelove actually put me on to different artists that was in the area. You got Rossi, you got Ortega, you got Sebi OG, these guys who were already making moves. And when I reached out to them, shit just started moving from there. And I just kind of grew a group of people based off these coincidences of people that I met for the most part. And yeah, ended up here.
Man, blessings. That's what I call, you know, the stars falling in line, man. So, you know, that was destiny. It was meant for you to be in this spot, and it's showing, you know. Last time I checked, the record Jam Jar, man, it was at 47K, man.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
The song or the video?
Let's talk both. Let's talk the song and then we'll get into video.
So the song came about on some random shit. Just me trying to show my girl appreciation. I'm not really good with showing appreciation outwardly in general. I'm generally a humble person. I stay to myself. And music is the way I kind of express everything for the most part. So when I heard the beat for Jam Jar, I instantly thought about my girl and everything that she means to me in general. And I drink a lot of wine. It's a wine called Jam Jar, whatever. That's my favorite wine. And every time I get around her or we're together, that's the drink of choice that we drink. And it kind of came about just me just not to say venting, but just expressing how I felt about her while off Jam Jar. So I'll never forget him driving to fucking Whole Foods and shit and fucking making this song. And I never forget, I picked her up and I spit it to her and she was like, I got the video already in my shit. The video, so the video idea was actually hers for the most part.
That's dope.
Yeah, bro. So it's my girl's video idea. She actually gets credit for that shit. And it just came together beautifully, bro. Like I said, when I met Justin, he let me know about this team called Guac Runners. Guac Runners is the squad. That's a team I fucks with in San Diego who produces all my videos. And they let me know about Fern, who was the junior team. Fern hit me up. He's like, hey, I got this budget for you right here. We can do everything you need to based off like this price or whatever. And we just kind of did the video, bro. He got everything together. I didn't do shit. I just had to pay the nigga. He did set up everything for me, and we got the video done. And the shit came out beautifully, and it's doing numbers the way I didn't even expect, honestly. I expected that shit to hit like 1,000, 2,000, but damn near 50,000, bro. That's just a blessing for real.
Man, and that's dope, man. And you know what I'm saying, just looking at the aesthetics, man, you can tell that it was shot properly, man.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to who shot the video, man.
Shout out to Green Ghost Fam. That's the homies Fern's independent film company. Shouts out to my homies Guac Runners. They the ones who put me on the Fern. So shouts out to the whole team, man. They always get shit done for me, right? You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Them niggas is doing work, bro. Them niggas is like, they working out with Chief Keef. They working with fucking, Rob Stone. Working out with fucking Cap G or whatever. Them niggas working with everybody. They just finished doing 2 or 3 videos with Doughboy. So them niggas make moves, bro. So yeah, shouts out to Guac Runners. They're on the come up for real.
Shouts out to Guac Runners for the show, man. And you said something that definitely stood out to me, you know, when you were speaking, man. You talked about your girl having some input, you know, in the video, and to me that's balance, man.
Yeah.
So shout out to the ladies who providing that balance, man. We gonna take a toast to that, man.
Facts, nigga.
Women who bringing that balance to the table.
Shout out to my girl, bro. For real. Going for her. I wouldn't even be where I am right now, bro. She pushed the nigga to do this shit for real, because before that, I was, playing around with it, diddling, daddling and shit with it, whatever. But she was like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Your shit dope. You can make this shit happen for real if you just go hard for that shit. So I want you to go as hard as you can for that shit. And she the reason I pushed for this shit, quit my job, focus solely on music, and the shit been working out. So going up from here, shout out to my girl, bro.
Man, word up. And I gotta make sure you hit that cup. I gotta make sure that happens. I'm gonna double up with you. And, you said another thing that definitely stood out to me, man. Quitting your job, man. When you went through that phase, man, talk about that.
Oh, man, that shit was scary, bro. In situations where you're in a relationship and you stand with somebody, you got kids and shit, last thing you want to do is not be able to provide for your kids, your family in general. So before I even quit, I had to make sure that I could do this shit for real. And when I first started dropping my music or whatever in San Diego, and I started seeing how it was growing, it took 3 or 4 months before I started making my first 2,000 or 3,000 checks off that shit. And based off that shit, I was just like, if I can keep doing this shit consistently every few months, I can survive with this shit. With me and her money situation together, or whatever. And man, I'm not gonna lie, it was scary as hell, bro. Like I said, last thing you want to do is be a bum ass nigga. That's the last thing I was trying to do. So it worked out, and I'm just trying to take this shit further so she can quit completely, and I can take care of everybody in my life for the most part with this shit. So yeah, bro.
Man, I feel that, man. It definitely sound like progression and growth, man.
Facts, nigga.
And what's some tools that you use to help grow your platform, man?
Oh man, so as far as promotion wise?
Yeah.
So pretty much I push money behind Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. I push my music through every fucking eligible promotion that you can for the most part to get real growth for the most part. I see a lot of dudes who be pushing fake streams and shit, and I like real growth in between my shit. So I put a lot of money behind my music so that it gets out to the right people. And I mean, those are the main things I use. Outside of that, I'm posting stickers out everywhere in San Diego. You go in San Diego, you'll see a lot of stickers of fucking Prota just everywhere. I got these.
Groundwork.
Right, I got these little fucking cards that's they call dot cards, where you show us a person, they can scan that shit, they bring up all your links to your music. So anytime I fucking see anybody or I meet new people, I just show them my card and pull that shit up, let them listen to it or whatever. Again, we're linking out every time I go to the studio, which I work at a home studio, and I work out of Will's studio or Justin's studio. They both work at the same studio, whatever. And anytime I meet a new artist, I just kind of put them onto my music. And because of them, they kind of share it to another person, that person shares to another person, and it just kind of like builds on itself for the most part. So, like you said, it's a lot of groundwork, a lot of money pushed behind that shit, and just a lot of like perseverance and just faith behind my shit. So,
1,000. I respect that and I dig that the most. Because anytime you pushing something, you gotta get out here and do the groundwork. You can have the dopest product, but if you ain't
pushing that shit, if you ain't talking to people, shaking hands, kissing babies, bro, you ain't gonna get too far.
It don't mean nothing.
Facts, nigga.
Man, let's talk obstacles, man. In this game, I understand there's a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of up and downs, man. Share some of your obstacles, man.
Money is always an obstacle first and foremost, because if my music ain't streaming, then I'm not making no money from that shit for the most part. So making sure that people are actually listening, tapping in, that's the first thing you always gotta focus on when it comes to fucking obstacles and trying to get past that hump. Second obstacle is fucking life in general. I feel like in order to make any type of real groundwork work that can connect people, you gotta go through life, bro. Like a lot of people in general that I can't fuck with, but I fuck with, they make music just based off what sounds good. I never want to make shit that just sounds good. I want to make shit that just connect to, but that's the shit that when you 5-10 years later from now, you can always go back and hear that shit, and at some point you connect to it. The way I listen to my music in general, the way I make my music, I don't make it for now. I make that shit for niggas who 20, 19, 18, 17 years old right now, who are eventually going to start going through shit, you know what I'm saying? And eventually, when you get to a certain point, when you go through enough tears, you go through enough bullshit, you start to hear my music and it starts to make sense to you, and the music continuously builds from that. So the music never goes old because there's always somebody new who listens to that shit. That's one of my main things. Another obstacle I can think about is fucking just finding like the proper beats, finding the proper producers who can make my dream come to reality, because I can't do everything. I do most of all my fucking music for the most part, but it takes a team effort, like he just said, which comes from like, that's where a turtle on fence post comes from. Like the whole grand scheme of a turtle on fence post, if you see the cover post, is me sitting on the wire above the city, and that's to indicate in the end of the day, like, how did he get there? How did this nigga get to this point, you know what I'm saying? And it takes a team of people to get you to that level, and you can never forget the team that you come from. Shit, what's another obstacle I could think about? It's a fucking fuck ton of obstacles, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
And those the key ones.
Yeah,
those the key ones. Yeah. And I respect that, and I dig that. And I heard you mention that first mixtape, a treetop under oppression.
Yes, sir.
So what growth have you noticed between a treetop under oppression to a turtle on a fence post, man? Tell me about that.
Oh, bro, not turtle, but a treetop on oppression, bro. Like I said, I was depressed. I was still in Tuskegee. I was actually in Montgomery, living in whatever, and I felt like Tuskegee or Alabama had trapped me. I couldn't get out, bro. And I know anybody from 4-6, anybody from Tuskegee can relate to that shit where you feel like the city trapped you. You stuck, right?
Yeah.
And everything that related to a treetop on the oppression related to being stuck and trying to get out of that situation. Versus on Turtle on the Fence post, it was me showing niggas that, bro, you can do this shit, you can make it out, bro. And there are other avenues, there are other ways to make money, and there are other ways to kind of take what you went through in life and build from that shit, and build some shit that's gonna be beautiful, bro, and build a different life that goes above what you're used to. Because in Tuskegee in general, like, what you see is what you get, and most niggas get stuck in that shit, you know what I'm saying? So, that's the difference, is depression and feeling stuck, feeling stuck versus feeling like you made it out and feeling like you can help somebody else get to that next level just like you.
Nah, and I understand that, and I definitely can relate, and I dig that 100%. Which was brought to my mind. So I gotta shout out Kel Charles and any and everybody who had something to do with that Tuskegee song by JID. You know what I'm saying? It's a great look for the city. We come from
the city, bro.
We come from a small town, so just to see that and shed light on that, that's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Most definitely.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That shit motivated the fuck out of me, bro. Like,
definitely.
Me and Jid almost had a track together. We got everything done for the most part, but it just never came out because it didn't come to fruition for the most part. So to see Jid go to Tuskegee, I don't even know if it was based off that. I don't know what the fuck it was based off of, but see him to go to Tuskegee and link with some niggas who really about Tuskegee shit, and
represent
right. You know what I'm saying? Like, shouts out to Kel, man. Shouts out to Alfonso. Shouts out to everybody down there who led this nigga to the right places. Shouts out to the Coop. Rest in peace to the Coop or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that's just a blessing for real. Shout out to Gia, bro. That nigga doing his thing for real.
Man, we gonna toast
Shout out
up.
to Kel, bro. My nigga, bro. Kel, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Your shit lit, bro. Your shit lit. You and the whole clubhouse, bro. Y'all shit lit. I always look up to y'all boys. I always pay attention to what y'all be doing, bro. I try to show my love as the best I can, but just keep going, bro. For real, that shit lit. They gonna see Skeeter one day, for real.
1,000. I heard everything you said, and we toasting up to Skeeter, bro. We growing and we glowing, brother.
Fact, nigga.
So before we wrap this interview segment up, man, tell me what a Prota vibe is like, man.
And a Prota vibe, man. I don't really have a vibe. It's based off wherever I'm at in the studio for the most part. It's based off the beats I'm hearing, based off what I'm smoking, what I'm drinking. If I'm smoking or drinking, it's just based off generally what's going on in the day for the most part. I rap about how I feel in the moment, so everything you hear is just how I felt in the moment for the most part. So it's all based off that in general. So that's pretty much it.
Dope. And it almost slipped my mind, but I gotta get this out because I'm passionate about it.
Yep.
Give a message to the youth, man. If you gotta tell the youth something, man, give them some words of encouragement, man.
Some words of encouragement. I would just say, man, don't let your start be your ending. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people take their start and let what people say about them, or let people talk them out of their dreams in general. And I feel like if you can let any nigga talk you out of your dreams, it wasn't really a dream to begin with. So you got to continue going, continue pushing on your path, whatever that path you choose is, and be full-heartedly in that shit with the understanding that you're doing this with the reason to grow and the reason to better everything in your life, better everything for your people in general. And it's going to take time. Nothing's overnight for the most part. Another thing I can think about, which is my last point, is just to get outside of your circle. I call it the plight of the circle for the most part, where people, they get in these realms where, you know, they got a crew of people that fuck with them, and they share their shit throughout these people. But it's the same people every time. So at a certain sense, you're just doing this. You're going in the circle. It's at a certain point, you're not getting to anybody new for the most part. And in order to continue growth, you have to step outside that circle and meet other people and meet other artists and meet other whoever the fuck you fucking with, and just tap in with them so that your shit can continue to grow. And that takes a lot of networking. It takes a lot of humbleness from yourself and understanding that you're not at the top. You're not the best person ever. You're not the best at whatever you do. And yeah, that's just pretty much it right there. Get outside your circle, man. Always understand that there's more you can do in general. And a lot of people just feel like you get in this circle, like they feel like they're cheating their homies. You're not cheating your homies just because you're linking up with other people. You're not cheating yourself because you are meeting other people. You're only elevating yourself and elevating your crew. And as long as you stand on your code and make sure that, you know, you're doing it for the right reasons, you're doing it for the people that you love, the people that you respect, the people that you behind you, your circle's gonna always be there. It's just only gonna grow larger and larger. So get out that plighted circle, you know what I'm saying?
Man, real words of encouragement. And before we wrap this segment up, man, let's just toast up to getting outside of your comfort zone. 100%, man.
Yeah, got that shit for real.
So, my favorite part coming up, Connect 4. Y'all stay tuned. We finna get into one of my favorite segments, and y'all know I'm still undefeated. I'm trying to keep it repeated. You know, my boy Prota say he gonna dethrone me, and we gonna see how that go, man. Good old Connect 4. They already know it's coming. It's time to get into that. But I want to do something different today. My boy Prota having a lot of heat. We gonna play some of his records while we play the game of Connect 4.
Okay.
So, what color you gonna rock with, bro?
Man, I'm gonna fuck with red, bro, if I get the chance to.
Man, do that, bro. I rock out with the yellow, man. I always say this because it was the realest thing I done heard. My boy Kel Charles told me they both ski colors. And after I heard that, I was just like, oh yeah, whatever color good with me. They both colors from the city.
It's all I need right here, bro.
So I'm good. I'm super good. Got yellow over there. Let's get it started.
follow. Type of nigga that's gon' eat his shit. I'm not the one to grovel on the
I can't let him get me, y'all. He look like he on something, though. He definitely look like he on something.
That Holland Park, that's my favorite bar.
Go.
When you deal with sorrow, learn from that. Don't let it make
Let's
you
go.
Rest in peace, the job was 22 and he got
Oh,
me caught with
man,
them
let
hollows.
this
I
nigga
hustle
get
for
me.
that very reason I can't take it. Seeing my homies laying under that gravel. I'm always with you like your shadow, nigga. If you don't see me, I just hope you believe me.
He
But every
is
day should
focused
give you
as
hope when you
hell.
breathing. Can only tell you about this road to success. I never said it'd be easy. That's false
That
hope
man
that I
focused
can't give
as
you,
shit
dog.
right now.
My faith one in this life alone. Ain't draw them
I
tears
just
when you
go,
feel them. Ain't no good gon' come from letting them flow. This ain't no race, man. What's for
He
you?
on
Don't run
the
into
board.
you. Even if you
It's
chose.
heat in the
Hey,
fucking
take that
vibe
chain
house.
above your neck.
And I'm
Release that
country,
pain
so
of
you
your
know it's
regret.
heat in
You
here.
gotta fight for your respect. Yeah. Yeah. Am I the man or I'm just kidding?
Man,
I won, bro.
you won.
Hey!
You the
I've been
first.
practicing for this shit, nigga.
You the first to do it. He is the first to take me down. Man, hey, toast up to that, bro. It's still rolling. Man, look, man. Toast up to you taking me down, bro. Man, I don't know how I feel about that, bro. I definitely will have something to give my boy
Hey,
from the
thanks, man.
Vibe House, bro.
Thanks,
Shout
man.
out to you for coming through and doing that. Much respected, much respected.
Yes, sir.
So today, we got some food in the house
Okay.
from Reggae Flavors. We gon' taste test some jerk chicken wings, man, and let me know how that turned out, man.
Thanks, nigga. I'm with the chicken, bro. What's up?
For sure. Got this Connect 4 out the way. We about to get into some good old Reggae Flavors. And tonight, we got jerk chicken on deck. I'm gonna move this Connect 4 out the way. We gonna get into some jerk chicken from Reggae Flavors. And that's you, my brother.
Appreciate that.
Yo,
Bro.
let the people know what their Reggae Flavors hitting like, bro.
Let's see, bro.
We gonna go in on the jerk wings, man. We got some rice and beans in this plate as well, but we gonna taste test these jerk wings, man, from Reggae Flavors.
Sure.
I don't know if the camera caught that because my plate kind of up, but they follow the bone. That's already a
Sure,
good
bro.
sign. With no sauce.
That shit crazy, bro. That shit fell fucking bone like that. Come on, bro. That shit crazy.
And I don't want to talk with food in my mouth, but shout out to Reggae Flavors. That's him.
That shit hitting, bro. For real.
At this point, my dog, we're gonna get into the shout outs. Is there anybody you want to shout out at this time?
Man, I want to shout out my girl for one. You know, Alex, shout out to you, babe. I love you, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to you for always holding me down. Shout out to the ski branch of niggas who rapping. Shout out to KL. Shout out to Clubhouse. Shout out to Sip. Shout out to every nigga out that bitch rapping and shit. Shout out to the team Guard Runners, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the team Gringo Film. Shout out to my nigga Breezy and his team. Artista Entertainment and shit. And just shout out to my nigga Roger for always being there, you know what I'm saying? Put me on and always putting in that work, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna keep these wings going for real.
Tell you, I just got mine down, man. Shout out to everybody who's following, man. Number one, you know, shout out to at the real Trey, you know what I'm saying, for the ski hat. Shout out to Sorry Flamingo, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to Mo Designs for the Vibe House candle holder. But tonight, that will leave with my boy Prota for sure.
Appreciate that shit, bro.
Shout out to Sorry Flamingo. We got Snoop back there. And most definitely shout out to 3D, you know, for sure. And like that, we out.
We in the vibe house. We in the vibe house. We love it like the vibe house.